So going deeper into FELS, FELS has the 10 pillars, and which you already mentioned you know about. So right now we want to do something whereby we are trying to analyze your personal life and empower motion with the 10 pillars of FELS.
Yes.
So yeah, so the first pillar is continuous learning. So throughout your journey and empower motion, is there a way you are always learning or you are done with your learning journey and you are just running the business?
No, so I need to always learn as quickly or quicker than everyone else, right? And I think we need to be very careful because technology has never been as brutally fast growing as it is at the moment. But as humanity, a lot of the time, the way we think is anything that existed before we were 18 is the natural order of things. It's natural. Anything that existed between 18 and 35 in our lifespan is something that's a great career opportunity. And anything that was built after we are 35, we often see as unnatural and something that should be forbidden. But the thing is, technology doesn't care about our feelings. Technology just is, and it's a mega trend, and it can't be stopped. And so the only way you can survive and thrive is by learning. And the biggest value to me in universities really isn't the degree, and it really isn't. And I'm sorry, my fellow professors, you hear this, but you don't hear this from me for the first time. It really isn't the curriculum either, because if you think about it, the best universities, their curriculum has to be updated during the active season, during the active semester, because otherwise it will be outdated, right? If someone has a master's in digital marketing and it's cost them 4 years to do, the algorithm has changed 10 times. And so their knowledge is completely outdated. But what universities do better than anyone else is teach us how to learn and give us the discipline and the creativity and the good conversations that make us better learners in every sense. And so I'm a massive fan of universities. I think universities will be more, not less important in the future. And I think they're a good starting point for your journey that doesn't end, but that begins when you graduate university. So yes is my answer. Resounding yes. Every day is learning. I'm learning.
Wow.
And it has to be like that. And it's completely in line with your pillar one there.
Yeah, and speaking about technology, surprisingly, one of our pillars is following latest technologies. With Empower Motion, what technology do you use? What latest? How are you trying to inculcate technology with Empower Motion for a good result?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, I think every company on earth now is a technology company, which they just haven't realized it yet, right?
Yeah.
And so a life coaching, a habits coaching company is in fact very much a technology company. And there's many aspects to it, right? So you could talk about the fact that we do things on Zoom, but you could look at my watch, which tracks my heart rate, right up there. Tracks my heart rate, and it tracks my vitals. It sends out an SOS if I should have a heart attack, heaven forbid, and it also tells me about my stress levels. And so everything is technology augmented, and I think we're missing a trick if we don't do that, because the interesting thing about the human condition is that we're all unique. We all have different physiologies, right? So if you drink a glass of something, it reacts differently with you, body and mind, than it does with me.
Yeah.
Right. If I eat ugali, it'll affect me differently. I don't like it, by the way. Than if you eat it. If we both drink a glass of wine, we have a slightly different reaction, probably, right? And so if we don't take that personal data, some of it which isn't obvious, the fact that I probably do better with a glass of wine than you is fairly obvious, probably from the fact that I'm much bigger than you. Yeah. But if we look at this from the perspective of what's inside of us, our genome, our physiology, our potentially nutritional deficiencies, whatnot, sleep deprivation, or whatever it is. If we don't use that data, we can't give advice. And so I think if we don't use the technology to use that data, then we're missing a trick, right? Yeah. So definitely and absolutely, we must use technology. And then we must also learn to avoid it so that we don't spend all our time in front of screens.
Exactly. That's very true. You end up like spending your working hours on technology because there are good things there, to be honest. And then indirectly, you've answered your daily lifestyle, because there's one pillar of FEL that is healthy lifestyle habits, whereby you spoke about meditating, going to the gym every morning. So would you affirm that for the pillar?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. You look. It's a healthy. As far as I don't know when this started, but I guess as early as the Greek philosophers. I mean, they believed in a healthy mind and a healthy body.
Yeah.
And I think everyone should exercise. The data, the science on it is absolutely clear. I think we do our old people a massive disfavor, by the way. We think when they retire, they should rest, which is the opposite of what they need, right? So then their muscle mass disappears. And I'll just give you one study, which I find very interesting. And my brother also works in the field and knows about these things. And so it's that your muscle mass correlates negatively with all causes of death. Or in layman's terms, the more muscle mass you have, the less likely you are to die from any cause, right? And a lot of the time, what happens with old people when they get in trouble and pass away, it's not the flu, it's they fall and they hurt themselves serious, like they have a hip injury or a knee injury, and they don't move, which means that their immune system is affected, which means that they move even less. And so it's a vicious cycle. But muscle is protective tissue. Muscle is mobility. Muscle is everything. And we built those habits when we are young. So those who go on this journey of Empower Motion with me, we have a personal trainer and a nutritionist and a PT on a nutritionist on the course. And you kind of have to do that stuff. And some of the young folks talk to me about the soft life. They don't want to do it. They don't want to have their legs hurting from the leg day exercises that we do. But I'm sorry. If you want to be top, then you need to take every aspect to heart. You need to do body, you need to do mind, which means exercise, nutrition, and most importantly, sleep. Sleep is top of that hierarchy.
That's all it's like Charlie. Yeah, you have to take time to yourself, because you would end up doing all the great stuff within a limited amount of time, and you end up not having like good health and all that, which at the end of the day makes no sense in a way. So a balanced lifestyle. So the next pillar of FEL is ideation and creation. So I want us to add ideation and creation with self-discovery and improvement. How did Empower Motion come about, the ideation and creation, and how does your self-discovery and improvement affect Empower Motion and your lifestyle basically?
Oh, heavy questions. I think we riffed on this earlier on in my talk, and I think the thing is, we the biggest risk that I see for people in terms of every type of success that they can have, relationship, financial, career success, most definitely, because careers are about how you interact with other people. Entrepreneurial success is your degree of self-awareness. It's mind-boggling that I come across people who are 45 and still don't know what they're good at and what they're not good at. Or maybe they know, but they still feel like they need to compensate for things that they're not good at.
Yeah.
They spend all their time working on their weaknesses rather than to their strengths, which I think we should do both, but you need to mostly work to your strengths. Otherwise, you're never going to be the Cristiano Ronaldo of your own craft. And so I think self-awareness is the starting point. You need to always be aware of how you influence and what effect you have on those around you and on yourself. And then the second step that follows from that is the self-actualization and the self-improvement that should really be very holistic, body, mind, and everything else. Yeah. I'm very sorry. I have another call starting in a minute or so. So one more question, and then unfortunately I'll have to bounce into the next calendar item.
Yeah, sure. We'll end this part. So let me choose the right questioning. So embarking on the journey of empower motion, because one of the pillar of FEL is open and
Christine,
Hi.
I don't think you're recording.
I am. It shows recording here. It is.
Does it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
And let me cut it. If I'm babbling stupid stuff, let my team cut it for you. Okay. All right, go again.
So another pillar of FEL is open and balanced mindset. As an entrepreneur, you mentioned empower motion is not your biggest venture. So I guess you have this open and balanced mindset that you are not ending at empower motion. You are going to do more. So
no, but I think the important thing here is also that empower motion is something that is a love child of all the know-how and knowledge that I've collected over the years.
Yeah.
And empower motion wouldn't be worth much if I wasn't doing the things that I do. And I can't stand people. I can't stand people who basically go out to teach others without ever having done it.
Thank you.
So I find it weird that the world is full, the internet is full of sort of life coaches and gurus and business advisors, and their business is to advise others, but they've never built a business. So they're telling you how to build yours, but they've never really done it because they rely on you buying their book and you doing things. And I absolutely detest these people because I don't think they have anything original to say. And so for instance, I don't go around talking about the billionaire mindset because I'm not a billionaire.
Okay.
I haven't done that. I don't know how to. I think in theory, I know how to become a billionaire. In practice, I don't because I haven't done it. So for me, what I try to narrate, what I talk about, I'm very simple in the sense of I do three things, right? I build business. I talk about building business. That's what I do with you now. And then I teach how to do the stuff that I do. But I stay in my lane in the sense that I teach stuff that I do. I show people what's worked for me, but I don't pretend like I have God's own truth about any of it. I think that's where we need to be careful. We need to be careful that we don't I don't want to build a brand around a promotion that's just the coaching bit. What's valuable inside of what I do is that I have a methodology for you, but then I'll also show you why that is relevant to me or what I have done. How I always have an anecdote to go with everything that I say. And I think I don't want a brand for the sake of the brand. I think the way Empower Motion stays relevant and up to date is by me doing the other things that I do so that my teachings are in fact not 20 years old. It's not something that worked for me in, 2004. It's something that works today. I did it yesterday. So when I teach about sales, when I talk about sales technique, when I talk about how to have those conversations, you can be sure that in the last week, I've actually had that same conversation with someone. Right?
Oh, that's amazing.
Sorry. You feel strongly about it.
Yeah. No, it's fine. So Hery-Christian Henry, it was a pleasure having you. I think viewers are going to be blessed by this video because personally, I've learned a lot that if I don't start it and if I don't own it, no one is going to do it for me. And if I don't run my day, the day is going to run me. So it's a pleasure knowing about you, knowing about Empower Motion, knowing about the fact that you started with drawing and now you want to be a multi-millionaire with a carbon multi-millionaire, actually, sorry. So
carbon neutral multimillionaire. Yes. Right.
So a carbon neutral multi-millionaire. See you at the top.
See you at the top.
Thank you, and it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.